Hi there, this is Charlie Destries with some more thoughts on selling in the biotechnology life sciences world. This topic, though, is rather general. It could really cover any industry, and it's called follow-up. Follow-up is the lifeblood of any sale. I don't care if you're following up on M&A activities in a business development sense, in the big picture sense, or following up on a $300 reagent sale at Johns Hopkins University. Follow-up is really the active ingredient for businesses to stay healthy. Without that active ingredient, businesses often wonder, why aren't they succeeding? And yet, in a survey that I did a long time ago, it's about 10, 11 years ago now, I actually, sometimes you wonder how you do these things, but I actually spent about 18 months tracking 750 companies. I did 750 requests for information and tracked how many of them actually responded. About 75% did. And then how many actually followed up on my request for information. And I posed as a small company scientist, that kind of a thing. And 28% of them did. 28% follow-up on the original 750 or so that I followed. And of those 28%, the average follow-up time was something like 60 days. By that time, typical scientist or customer would have already forgotten what they asked for. So, let me ask you this. You're a company with salespeople, distributors, distribution channels, and you're spending money going to a trade show. This is so typical. You go to a trade show, you spend $10, $15, $20,000 bringing 3, 4, 5, 6 people there, put up a fancy booth, stay in fancy hotels, buy fancy meals, and you gather the leads. That's the purpose for going, right? Showing up, creating awareness, but more importantly, gathering sales leads. People who come to the booth and say, that looks pretty interesting, give me a call on this. And you fill out all those little forms and those little buttons, and you maybe put it through a fancy processor. These days you could even barcode it, and they take the little badge and right across, boom, information, right? We're overloaded with information. And you might even have it directly land into your Salesforce.com CRM. So far, so good, right? I will make you a bet that if I did that survey today with all our fancy stuff, now remember, when I did the survey, email was hardly used in business. Fax machine was still pretty cool. Cell phones were only just coming online. I mean, people still didn't use them in the field. Laptops were kind of heavy. And there was really very little in the CRM world. There was ACT, and maybe Goldmine, and maybe a couple of others. So things were quite different back then. So you'd think with all these improvements with our technologies and our communications and our ability to handle lots of data, lots of information, have it at our fingertips, that the follow-up rates would be better. Well, I haven't done a survey. But I'll tell you right now, speaking to companies, and I speak to lots of companies out there, that follow-up is still an issue. Well, why is that? We spend so much trouble and time creating these opportunities, and yet we don't follow up. Well, a bunch of reasons. Sometimes it's just fear of rejection. People basically today will pick up the phone, dial that number, and hardly ever, probably 80% of the time, get a voicemail. And so the question is, what do I do? Should I leave a voicemail message, or should I send an email? Most people choose to send an email. What's the problem with that? People are inundated with emails. They don't see it. They don't read it half the time. Well, maybe I'll pay a visit. Boy, cold calling today's tough with security after 9/11. I mean, it really is a tough thing. So how do you follow up in an environment where following up is sometimes tough? Well, first of all, you've got to do it. That's number one. And I'll say right now, at least half the people out there are not following up on their clients, potential customers. If you actually succeed in reaching someone, you have to leave a plan with that person that says, I'm going to reach you again. For example, customer says, yeah, I'm interested in that at a trade show. It winds up either on a card that your sales manager gives you, or in an email, a spreadsheet, or in a CRM, like Salesforce.com, which I think is pretty good. And you call them, and you successfully reach them. Oh, yeah, I remember asking for that information. By the way, don't wait 60 days. Do it as soon as you get that information. You want them to remember they asked for it. You call them up. You say, look, great, are you kind of interested, measuring your temperature here? They say, yeah, send me some more information. Okay, great. How do I send it? Do you want me to send it mail, email? Send it to me over email. Here's my email address. That's fine. Great. I'll send it to you over email, and I'm going to give you a follow-up call next. When do you think you'll read it? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Great. I'll give you a follow-up call the day after tomorrow. Is that okay? Cool. You've now put it in their mind that they're going to get a follow-up call, and they will hopefully read the information or see the video, whatever it is, before you call them. Now they're expecting your call. Don't just send them the information, because you might have a hard time reaching them again. You're in competition with not just other vendors with other products, but with their colleagues, their bosses, their employees, whatever it is. They're huge competition in the email world. Certainly do not give up on the follow-up. It is magical. Now let me tell you 2 other areas that you should consider in the follow-up arena. 1, mail, the U.S. mail. Send them a card. Send them a card. Go to sendoutcards.com/mailbox. www.sendoutcards.com/mailbox. You're going to think this is crazy, but people will open up a letter that looks like an invitation or a greeting card 11 times more than they would junk mail. So check that out. Great business tool. It comes out of left field. It's in the U.S. mail. It's not email, and it's not voicemail. It's old school. My school. But you know what? It's another tool. And then the other one is video. Send them a video email. And there are choices out there, and if you're interested in learning more about it, let me know. But do something different. Don't just give up on them. Don't leave a voicemail and hope for the best and then never call them again. You've lost the opportunity. It's all about momentum. You have to gain the momentum. You have to be a follow-up evangelist. And I realize today companies are demanding all this information being put into CRMs. The problem with CRMs today is that, if you burp, you have to put it in there, burp to 12 noon after I talked to him, and then, I went and took a pee at 1 o'clock. Look, do the best you can there. It's not about information. It's about, are you following up? Are you putting together a plan? And I guarantee you, if you're doing that, and you keep the bosses happy by putting all that information in there, that your sales will go up. When your sales go up, trust me, you're in a much better position. Follow up, follow up, follow up. I don't care how you do it, but don't wait to do it, and don't just give up after one try. This is Charlie Destries. I hope you have a great biotech week. Take care of yourself. Bye now.